What is going down, Sourdough Squad? You know what day it is. It's Friday. That means we are coming to you with our Prediction Friday, the NFC Championship edition against the vaunted Philadelphia Eagles. Whoo! You know we got to get this dub, baby. And you know we had to come on and do our predictions. You already know the vibes. Drop an SDS in the chat. Smash that like button if you haven't already. And let's get this thing popping. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. What is the vibe this Friday? I mean, it's real, ladies and gentlemen. We have seen the San Francisco 49ers leave the facility. We saw a bunch of fans show up and send them off the right way, as they should, because we have the best fans in the world. But we're one step closer. The 49ers are probably getting on the plane right now as we speak, getting ready to head to Philadelphia. I will be getting on a plane later tonight. I am taking the red eye. So it's going to be a good time. So I'm really looking forward. It's just you got all the nerves. If you're not feeling something right now, are you alive? Check your pulse, because this is NFC Championship football. Ladies and gentlemen, the San Francisco 49ers are 4 quarters, 60 minutes away from the Super Bowl. One more time. 60 minutes away from a Super Bowl appearance. It's getting real. I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the chat. Are you feeling any nerves? You feeling any emotions? Are you calm, cool, collected, confident? Nothing can shake your vibe. What's the vibes? Drop it in the chat, because this is going to be a big time matchup. I see a lot of people saying nervous. I see some excited, anxious, and those are all very, very normal feelings. Toa's confident. We got Houston in the building. So the emotions are going to be tense heading into this one. And don't drop your score predictions yet. We are going to save the score predictions for the end. We got a couple people a little worried. It's a wild situation. Like, as it continues to compound to get closer and closer to the game, it's just, again, another reminder that we are so close yet so far away, because we have a formidable test in front of us, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles. And for all, of course, the trash talk this week has been on par. It's been NFC Championship caliber trash talk. I already saw 49er fans are supposedly putting Niner gear on the Rocky statue. I don't know. I'm getting a little bit of inside job vibes from that, especially, coming straight from a Philadelphia account. I'm getting some inside job vibes. Like, I could totally see the Philadelphia Eagles trying to stir it up a little bit. Like, hey, let's go put this shirt on here, take a picture. We'll watch it go viral. We'll see. I guarantee you 49er fans are going to show up to that statue this weekend, though. Definitely. And I might have to stop by to see what the vibes are like. But the mood is tense. You have the Philadelphia Eagles Police Department greasing poles, light poles, street poles, just so that in the event of a victory for the Eagles, they can't climb up them. So they're preparing for an Eagles W over there in Philadelphia. We ourselves are preparing for a 49ers dub, but it's going to be a tough one. I don't think it's going to be easy at all. Um, the everything that we hear about the environment, I believe, is to be true. I do think that when we're looking at, you know, Lincoln Financial Field, that's a hard place to play. And it's going to be loud. It's going to be raucous. And it's going to be intense. So we got a matchup in front of us, and we're going to break down the matchups and we're going to get into all that good stuff. But first, before we do, um, so we've had the initial injury reports come out. Christian McCaffrey has been cleared. And, as we alluded to earlier in the week, Christian McCaffrey should be available to go. So no real surprise there. Um, we were a little concerned with him missing practice early on in the week, but Christian McCaffrey practiced today and is removed from the injury report. So that's good. Deebo Samuel was also removed from the injury report. So both, Deebo and Christian McCaffrey are up for this game. The big question comes from Elijah Mitchell, who, it's a bit conflicting. I saw some reports from like Mayoko that said Elijah Mitchell wasn't practicing today. Then I saw David Lombardi say that Elijah Mitchell is out there in a limited participation. And I believe the official injury report listed Elijah Mitchell as a did not participate. So I think officially Elijah Mitchell did not practice 3 days in a row. And that's where we get a little worried about a player's availability for a game this weekend. So he is questionable, obviously a lot better than doubtful, but Elijah Mitchell is questionable heading into this game. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Elijah's availability is going to be. No practice, not a sign in the right direction. So maybe that does mean we see more Jordan Mason. And I imagine, this game is going to be one on the ground. I mean, it could be one in the air as well, but I do think the 49ers are going to want to do their best to establish the run. So we'll see. We shall see. But other than that, injury report looks good to go. Nothing too crazy going down there. And all that good stuff. So, all things considered, the San Francisco 49ers are, again, as healthy as we could hopefully be heading in to championship weekend. Also, another just quick announcement, if you guys care. We have partnered with Breaking T. They are a NFL officially licensed provider. They have some pretty dope gear. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys are already rocking some of these guys' gear. But we are officially partnered with Breaking T, and we will be a brand sponsor of these guys. Obviously, we got our own merch, but hey, these guys are at the top of their games doing all that good stuff. So we have partnered with Breaking T. And if you guys do want to get some merch, I'm dropping the link below. Use that link and get your playoff merch and all that good stuff. So shout out to our new sponsor, Breaking T. You love to see it. We got a good amount of sponsors now. We've got Residency, we've got Breaking T, we've got Foco USA and Foco Bobbles. So also too, don't forget, if you need to get we got you covered, man. Want to get Foco as well. We're also, I think, going to be having a bobble drop here pretty soon. I think tomorrow. So if you guys do want to get some of that gear, if you use SF10, that promo code will get you 10% off anything from Foco. And of course, we'll keep you in the loop. And one last sponsor, because you know what time it is. If you do want to get your residency hats that we are rocking here today, you already know the vibes. Go to residency.com, use the promo code VSF9ers. We got you covered, baby. We got you covered with all the gear. Sponsorships going up. And you guys know if we hit that we get to Super Bowl week, we're about to be cooking. So we get that stuff out the way. Make sure you guys are geared up, fresh, ready to go. But let's start to talk about this matchup, shall we? Let's talk about this roster because it's pretty intense when you look at it. Pretty intense. Make sure you also smash that like button. But let's go down the list. Quarterback Jalen Hurts playing at an MVP caliber level. Running back Miles Sanders, who's really taken his game to another level this year. A.J. Brown. We know A.J. Brown very well. Traded from the Tennessee Titans. Basically got their GM fired for that trade. A.J. Brown has evolved into one of the best wide receivers in this league. Has actually drafted right behind Deebo Samuel. You've got Devontae Smith, who was, if you go back into the draft, right? Go back to the draft process, and you had Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, even I think Jameson Williams was there for a brief period of time. Devontae Smith was who I thought was the best wide receiver at Alabama at that time. So Devontae Smith, very talented. They have two very, very talented wide receivers. Quez Watkins. Don't sleep on Quez. Quez doesn't get targeted a whole lot, but that boy is fast. He is fast as all hell. So when you look at these three wide receivers for the Philadelphia Eagles, you got a little bit of everything. A.J. Brown is your big time possession. I mean, he can beat you deep. He can beat you over the middle. He's just bona fide number one wide receiver. Devontae Smith, a little bit more slender, but still has speed and all that type of stuff. But he can get after you, and Quez Watkins is fast as all hell. So it's going to be a matchup. And then, of course, Dallas Goedert, a.k.a. Houston Gogurt. He's a good tight end. He's not better than George Kittle. We're not going to say that, but Dallas Goedert is a good tight end. And he is a factor in both the run and passing game. So they've got good weapons, man. And then we get to the offensive line: Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelsey, Isaac Sumalo, and Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson is the best right tackle in the NFL. If he played left tackle, he'd probably be the second best left tackle in the NFL. Lane Johnson is a athletic freak. He moves so well for an offensive lineman. He's huge. He's very, very, very good. So Lane Johnson is fantastic. Jason Kelsey, probably the best center in football right now. He is just so stout, but he's quick twitched for a lineman, at least from the center position. He is a very, very good athlete. And also Landon Dickerson. I loved Landon Dickerson coming out of Alabama. He's just huge. He can play every position on the offensive line. He moves well. He's strong. He's a load. It's really hard to get by Landon Dickerson. He is a really great player. And, of course, Jordan Mailata, he's huge as well. He's huge. Jordan Mailata is going to be an interesting matchup, though, I do think, because I went back and I watched Jordan Mailata versus Micah Parsons. And, all things considered, oh, what are you doing? Huh? You gonna drop another score prediction on us? What's the score prediction gonna be? 49ers, what's the score? The football? What about the Eagles? What's their score gonna be? Yeah, helmet? Okay. Um so we got what's the score of the 49ers game? What are the 49ers gonna get? They're gonna win? Hey. I'll take it. High five. Nice work. I raised your right. I think the first original score was 49er football to Eagles helmet. So you interpret that however you'd like. Football? Yeah. All right. He's going to be messing around back here. So we got our first score prediction of the day. What? Why is it funny? Yeah. Because you're funny. No, you're funny. You go with Roman and Reese? No? You're just going to hang out? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do my live. Is that okay? Okay, awesome. So basically, when we get into the matchup here, it's a tough one. This offense is crazy good. So the 49ers defense is going to get after it. Now, what I was listening to Baldy talk about this particular matchup, and Baldy was saying that he believes that the 49ers on offense and defense actually the Eagles have a better offensive line and a better defensive line. So I do believe that this game is going to be decided in the trenches. But Baldy, who we respect very much, he feels that the Eagles have the plus advantage in that category. Hold on one second. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. We are back. He started to like tear everything apart, so could not focus at all. Need to focus. We got predictions to do. But we're back. So overall though, I do think this matchup you could definitely make the case from an offensive line versus defensive line standpoint that the offensive line from the Philadelphia Eagles is very, very strong and very stout. And it is going to be a very difficult matchup. Uh, but we are going to have to figure out which kind of Nick Bosa shows up, because also what Baldy was talking about was, yes, Nick Bosa is probably a defensive player of the year. Nick Bosa is having a phenomenal season, but the last 2 weeks he's been handled by rookie tackles. So it's going to be very interesting. Obviously, it's going to be a big matchup with the cornerbacks, Charvarius Ward, also Diamador Lenore, and of course Jimmy Ward in the slot. So these guys are going to have their hands full. Tashawn Gibson, Talanoa Hufanga, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, and probably a lot of Aziz Al-Shaair. It's going to be a big, big time. And I really do think the biggest thing with this offense is it all kind of flows through Jalen Hurts. Like, obviously, Jalen Hurts has been a great distributor of the football, being able to get it out on time and to his players to make plays and all those types of things. But also, Jalen Hurts has the ability to create. So, I think this is going to be a linebacker type game. I'm looking at Fred Warner. I'm looking at Dre Greenlaw. Obviously, defensive ends, I think, are going to have to play contained. They're going to have to really keep Jalen Hurts inside the pocket. They're going to have to keep gap integrity on the interior defensive line. You cannot create open running lanes for Jalen Hurts to to basically just squirt through the pocket, whether up or out. You're really going to need to build that pocket and try to collapse it from basically the edges, and then you're going to need to push up from the interior. So Eric Armstead's going to be huge in this game. It's going to be interesting to see what Javon Kinlaw's impact could be in this game. But the San Francisco 49ers defensive line has a big task in front of them. And the number one goal is to neutralize Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts can absolutely hurt you in so many different ways. So biggest thing for the 49ers is containing him, and specifically in the run game, because we've seen it. We know that the 49ers can run coverage and they can blanket wide receivers and tight ends and take things away. It's the quarterbacks who can then extend plays past and beyond that is what really hurts the 49ers a lot. So big task at hand. So when we look at this matchup, 49ers defense versus the Philadelphia Eagles offense, who is going to be now this is where we turn to you guys and you start dropping it in the chat. Who do you guys think the player of the game is going to be for the San Francisco 49ers defense? Which matchup do you think is going to be exploited the most? Who do you think is going to have to step up and play their biggest game of the season to be able to get this dub over the Philadelphia Eagles at their home field? It's going to be wild. And I think we're going to have answers all across the board. I don't think there's like one particular player that we are looking at that can, like, it's going to be an all hands on deck situation, but there's of course going to have to be one that stands above the rest and helps lead this team. And again, we're doing a defensive player of the game. Who do you think is going to stand out on defense? And of course, drop your bold predictions or bold takes for the defense as well. And right off the bat, we've got Fred We've got Huff. We've got Bosa. Bosa needs a breakout game. Bosa versus the left tackle. Greenlaw. Bosa versus Warner. Eagles. Joshua says Mooney earns that paycheck. Gibson gets a pick. Fred Warner. But Hufanga is close for me too. If Jimmy Ward is in, does that mean Alshire comes out? Yes, that's how they run their basically nickel package, is that if Azeez Alshire is in, it's kind of a base 4-3 defense. If Jimmy Ward comes in, Azeez will go out and then they shift to a nickel package. So you don't really see Azeez and Jimmy Ward on the field at the same time. I mean, it happens, but that's typically how they operate their kind of nickel versus base. Chili saying Greenlaw, Bosa to shine, all pro Fred game. Bosa hands down. We need a Bosa game, man. It's been a while. Where you at, my guy? Where we at, Bose? Where we at, Big Bose? Baldy's saying you can get handled by rookies. Where we at, Bose? Don't poke the bear. Greenlaw will be huge in this game. Warner running down Hurts. Defense, Warner and Greenlaw. Travarius Ward. Bosa, all eyes going to be on him since he is up for Defensive Player of the Year and hasn't been doing too much lately. Ooh, where you at, Bose? If we could have a signature Nick Bosa game, this would be it. This would be the one where Nick Bosa just goes crazy. And this is the thing. Jordan Mailata is a good tackle. He really is. But I think there is a way you could attack his pass pro by you're going to have to he's really good once he gets his hands on you. Jordan Mailata is massive. He's real when he's able to get hands on you, you're not going anywhere. So with him, you're either going to have to do a lot of chops, like cross chops. I don't think long arms are going to work because his arms are literally so long that he will be able to get hands on. So when I'm looking, because we don't have defensive ends that are like super long, like our DNs, like Bosa and Samson Ebukam. Ebukam's undersized for a defensive end, and I would say Bosa is like right there at like kind of average size. He doesn't have that like crazy Brian Burns length or anything, but I think with Jordan Mailata, you have to be able to get him to bite on upfield speed, counter, inside spin. You have to get him to bite on the double move, and that's your best shot at Jordan Mailata. Lane Johnson, I don't think that's going to work. Lane Johnson is so gifted athletically that he can just do whatever. But with Mailata, you're going to really have to take advantage of counter moves. You're going to have to set him up, counter. And even so, like Micah Parsons had a hard time on Mailata. He beat Mailata flat out once. I would say there's probably 4, 5, 6, 7 reps between Micah Parsons and Mailata where it was pretty even. But then there were like probably 10 reps that Mailata just flat out stonewalled Micah Parsons. So he's capable. But there there is a plan that I think you could put into place against Mailata where you could kind of get him on his toes a little bit. Defense, whoever covers Dallas Goedert, it's going to be interesting to see if that's going to be Jimmy Ward, Hufanga, Gibson. We got a Fred Warner pick 6. Diamador with the pick. Do we get 3 picks in a row from Diamador? Dre forces 2. Defensive player of the game, Dre Greenlaw. Um, Electric says, I think Demo is going to break out this game. 2 picks. Man, if the 49ers can get Jalen Hurts rattled, that is going to be their best outcome, but that requires getting pressure. So it's going to be interesting to see how they dial up that pressure. Is it going to be D'Amico Ryans dialing up exotic looks, exotic blitz packages, trying to win numbers games, bring more than they can block? Or is it going to be, we've got 4 guys, we're going to keep a spy behind on Jalen, and we're going to play coverage? It's going to be interesting to see what D'Amico Ryan's plan is. Uh, Jason Aponte had indicated that Jalen Hurts struggles the most against cover 3. So if you're running cover 3 shell, maybe a spy in the center with Fred Warner, maybe you just try to get home with 4, run loops, run games up front. It's going to be very interesting to see what the plan of attack. This is going to be a D'Amico game. Like, I do think that we're going to look for individual players, but I think this is going to be the first game where I'm going to pick D'Amico. I need D'Amico to be the player of the game. I need D'Amico Ryans to put on an absolute masterclass, because I don't want this to be the last time that we see D'Amico Ryans for the San Francisco 49ers. I want to see D'Amico in his bag like we've seen in the past, and really just out scheme this offense, because we've been hearing a lot about Sirianni. We've been hearing a lot about Jalen Hurts and what they can and what they can do and how they could take advantages of defenses. But I'm looking forward to D'Amico Ryan's game. So this is going to be the one of the rare times that I pick a coach as the defensive player of the game. I need D'Amico, man, because I think someone said it earlier, all hands on deck. And I agree. It's going to be all hands. We're going to need plays from everyone there. I don't think it's going to be one specific player that is just going to outshine everyone else. I really do think that it's going to take everyone involved, all 11, the swarm mentality. But I'm looking at D'Amico. I'm looking at D'Amico and how he's going to take advantage of these matchups, how he's going to confuse Jalen and try to get Jalen to play uncomfortably. And if you can get Jalen uncomfortable, I think that's really going to be the 49ers' best shot at taking down this team. So, D'Amico, what better time than now to put on a D'Amico Ryans masterclass? Oh, look at Cash the Gourd. What's good, Cash? It has been a while. I am cheating, but that's really how I feel. If I had to say player, though, if I had to say a player, if I had to say a player, because why not? I'm looking at so many names are jumping to my brain. I want to see a Tashawn Gibson interception. I want to see Diamador Lenore create a turnover. I want to see Nick Bosa get after it. I want to see Fred Warner masterclass. Man, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. All right, I'm going to pick, though. If I had to pick anyone, I need someone in the trenches to step up. I'm going to go. So I feel like I want to go so obscure. My front runner pick is going to be Talanoa. Talanoa Hufanga. I think they're going to have to get creative with Talanoa. and I think Talanoa is going to have to really step up in coverage. I think Talanoa is, kind of, we understand first team all pro bowler, all that good stuff, but he hasn't been lighting it up like he has in the past. But I am going to say Talanoa Hufanga, my dark horse, my dark horse impact player of the game is going to be Javon Kinlaw. Javon hasn't done a whole lot this year. Of course, he's working back from injury and he's doing all that type of stuff. I need Javon. I need Javon in the interior. I need Javon holding up Jason Kelsey, Landon Dickerson. You go back. One of my favorite games of Javon Kinlaw was against Alabama and against Landon Dickerson. And that, for me, that game was like, all right, because I had so much respect for Landon Dickerson as an offensive lineman that when I saw Javon Kinlaw, Stonewall, Landon Dickerson, I was like, okay, we got something here. So my dark horse impact player of the game is going to be Javon Kinlaw on the interior, double team. Like, I don't need Javon Kinlaw to rack up stats. I need Javon Kinlaw to rack up doubles. I need him to play gap integrity. I need him to push from the interior. I don't need stats from Javon. I need the intangibles from I need the small things from Javon. That's really what I'm hoping for. If we get a big Javon game, I think that could be something there, because Jason is a good good O lineman. But Javon's got size on him, and if they can really neutralize double teams to backer, if Javon can push the interior of that pocket and they keep contained, I need it. I need a Javon game. We haven't had a Javon game all season. I need a Javon game, so we'll see. All right, let's move on to let's look at this defense here and see what we got. So this is going to be the best defensive line that we faced all year. I mean, they got literally Ndamukong Suh sitting there as the third stringer. Like, this defensive line is going to be ridiculous. Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox. Fletcher Cox has been one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL for his entire career. Javon Hargraves is no slouch either. Josh Sweat was a guy that I really liked in the draft. I mean, these four right here are dogs. Just studs. And then, of course, Jordan Davis, the rookie, really, really good. Like, interior defensive tackle, Jordan Davis. We know him coming out of Georgia and all that good stuff. He's fantastic. Linval Joseph. This defensive line is going to be a problem. They're going to be able to throw waves at the San Francisco 49ers. So it is going to be also imperative on Kyle Shanahan to see what he's going to be able to do in this game. How does he help aid his offensive line? How do they continue to use misdirection, play action? We know they had to make an in-game adjustment last week to be able to get the run game going. So is it going to be a lot more gap scheme, which I do think we could see a lot more gap scheme. But also I do see a world where we do see some outside zone. I do see a world where we see some outside zone because, I mean, Brandon Graham's got some speed. Josh Sweat's got some speed, but those two interior defensive tackles are stout. And so they might want to try to get to the edges. But, of course, at the edges, who do you got? You've got Hassan Riddick, Kaiser White. These guys are fast, man. So you even got Nakobe Dean as a backup. These guys are stacked. They're really stacked at every level. James Bradbury's good cornerback. The Gardner Johnson acquisition has been a good pickup for them. I believe they're going to be getting Avonte Maddox back, and everything that I've seen from Eagles fans are hyped on getting Avante Maddox back. Now, I don't know a whole lot about Maddox, but just judging by how hyped these Eagles fans are to get him back, it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be a factor in this game. And of course, Darius Slay, blanket shit. I do think the 49ers can win with manipulation on the offensive side. I do think they can also protect their offensive line by a lot of run action. If they're able to get the screen game back up and running, again, I think we get back to what we've talked about. Run the football, play action, screen game, and just get them guessing on what's coming next. And when they start to, you know, slow down a little bit, then you start implementing more gap scheme, and you start pulling, trapping counters, and just running straight at them. So if Elijah Mitchell can't go, we might see some Jordan Mason this game, especially if they're going to be running in between the tackles. With Christian McCaffrey being a little banged up, and we know Kyle is going to run Christian McCaffrey between the tackles, and he's going to use him heavily. But do we see Jordan Mason in this game if Elijah Mitchell isn't fully healthy, or let's say he can't go? I would imagine we would, um, because the 49ers are going to need more than, just Christian McCaffrey. Debo Samuel in the wide back role hasn't been as effective as he was last season. So it would be interesting to see if he would be used at all, maybe to try to get to the edges. Um, we've seen the 49ers have success with getting Debo Samuel to the edges, but this defense is going to have fresh legs. They're going to be able to throw a lot of bodies at the 49ers. And it's going to be crazy to see how the O-line steps up, because they're still rotating at right guard. They're still rotating Brunskill with Burford. I feel like Brunskill played more snaps against Dallas than Burford did, but it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. And of course, San Francisco 49ers have Brandon Ayuk. They have Debo Samuel, George Kittle, Jawan Jennings in the passing game. Of course, you have Ray Ravencloud show up sometimes. I think, yeah, I'm almost leaning towards that. Both teams are so stacked. It really does feel like this is a chess match, man. Like this feels like who can game up the other side the best. Who can get the other side biting the best? How can you generate uh, counter punches to what their keys are? So I do think this is going to be, you know, two puppet masters calling the shots, defensive coordinator. Like we get it all, man. We get the coaching matchup. We get player versus player. It's going to be intense. This game's crazy, but we're gonna need someone to step up. And Brock Purdy is heading into this game, NFC Championship, 4 quarters away from the Super Bowl. How will Brock Purdy respond? How will Brock Purdy show up? I have faith in Brock. I feel more confident, I think, right now about Brock Purdy playing than if it was Jimmy Garoppolo. Brock, to me, we have moments, but even within those moments, you can still see the process of the decision making that he's making. Whereas with Jimmy, and again, I'm not trying to compare, but it's just our reference point in this offense. When we watch Jimmy, we see the like big lapses in judgment and the big lapses in reading a defense. At least with Brock, we can see the thought process. Like I can see what he's trying to accomplish, even if it isn't successful or he's not completely accurate. I can at least rationalize the thought process. Like, okay, he was reading this, he was seeing that, and this is what he was trying to do. We're not seeing him just, try to bang it on a slant with, and we have seen that against the Seattle Seahawks, but he made the adjustment and he corrected it. And that's one of the biggest things with Brock that I have loved is his ability to correct in real time, which is hard to do for anyone, let alone a rookie. So it it's gonna be a wild matchup, but I do have faith in Brock to operate whatever their plan is at a high level. And I do believe that he will be able to distribute the football. And if they can, because remember the bread and butter that we've seen from this offense is the clear out and the deep over. So you get the clear out and the deep over. If they can start to get that cooking, because they run that out of multiple formations, they run it out of multiple alignments, multiple personnel formations. But the bigger of the plays that we've seen this year, or at least especially in the playoffs, have been that cover three beater. You get the whether it's Ayuk, Debo, Jennings, it doesn't matter. You get the basically post up the seam, and then you get the deep over. And basically, the clear out is going to pull the cornerback and the safety outside the coverage, and then it's going to force on the clear out, whether it's right or the left, it's going to be the far third corner is going to try to trail, and it just opens up the field. And then it's based on the linebacker to have to fill that gap. And if they can get this Eagles defense in that predicament constantly, then I think the 49ers are going to be able to take advantage of them. And we've seen it before. Brock is able to distribute and get the ball out. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see which 49ers offensive player comes out on top and is the difference maker. So I'm going to ask you guys in the chat, who is going to be the 49ers difference maker? Is it going to be George Kittle again over the middle? It's going to be Brock Purdy. We didn't get a touchdown pass against the Dallas. Are we going to get redemption from Brock Purdy throwing some bombs through the air? Is it going to be Brandon Ayuk? We're going to get a Debo Samuel game. It's going to be Christian McCaffrey. We're going to get a Jawan sighting. Who is going to be the offensive player that is going to be the difference maker for this 49ers offense against this really stout defensive linebackers, secondary, you name it. They're good. So let's see what the chat's talking about. So drop your answers in the chat. Also drop your bold predictions for the offense in this game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's see here. Starting at the top, we've got Kittle, Brock Purdy. The X factor will be CMC. O-line, I like that. We need the O-line, baby. Oh, boy, do we need the O-line. We need the O-line in the worst way. Brandon Ayuk, CMC, Brock effing Purdy, Debo going for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. I like that one. We got CMC. Let's see. Third and Jawan, basically. I think I'm being called a bozo by Peter Parker. Dallas has a better pass rush than the Eagles. Okay, statistically, I think the 70 sacks that the Eagles have would say otherwise, but go off, King. Juwan Jennings will have a big game. Lil Heater says Debo. Let's see who else. Purdy steps into the role of his life. Man, Kittle and Debo are going to be players of the game, bullying the linebackers. Feel like the 49ers got to take advantage of the middle of the field, which is what they want to do anyways. So I think it fits into what they're wanting to attack. Even though we have great players, I feel like we are going to get a big Ray McLeod play that'll change the game. Hey, I'm all for that. I'm all for the obscure big play from the player that no one's expecting. We got Brandon Ayuk, Brock Purdy. Lisa says Debo Samuel's hungry. Kittle and Jennings. Danny Gray showing. Hey, I'll take the obscure player, man. Chili says Trent Williams touchdown. I've been calling it since week 1 this year. Hey, we've been waiting for the Trent Williams touchdown. Chase says short routes from BCB to Kittle and Ayuk. I bet Kittle carries us to victory. Man, I want that. I want Kittle to be the one. Kittle has been such a spark for us since Brock Purdy has gotten in. And I think it's because of Brock Purdy's ability to see the field. And Kittle and Brock have able to build an extremely strong connection because Brock likes throwing to tight ends. I mean, he had a good one at Iowa State in Kohler. Brock's talked about it. He just likes throwing to tight ends, and he's got the best tight. I'm biased, but he's got the best tight end in football. CMC and Ayuk. Kittle 2 touchdowns. CMC to come back 106 yards, two touchdowns. I like the 106. I like that you didn't go flat 100 and you went 106. I like that. We're calling for a Brock Purdy game. Joshua says this is a playoff Debo type game. 3 tugs, 2 run. I was thinking about this earlier because you guys know that like Debo Samuel got Eagles fans riled up with his comment about Levi's Stadium being louder than Lincoln Financial Field. At first, like I heard the quote in real time and I was like, oh, like I instantly went, there it is. Like there's the bulletin board like quote from the 49ers. Like it was like, oh, you're like, oh, 100% Eagles fans are going to take that quote and they're going to run with it. I think that feeds into, I think it's going to, Philadelphia Eagles fans are already going to be loud. They're already going to be crazy. Is it going to amp them up somehow? Maybe. But what I think it is ultimately going to do is it's going to amp up Debo, because I guarantee you Debo has heard or felt Eagles fans coming after him for saying that Levi's Stadium is louder than the Link. So, and Debo, I think, plays his best. Like I think Debo got some of that pettiness to him, that that Steph Curry petty king vibes. Like, and I'm not saying petty in a bad way. I'm saying like, oh, I see what you're saying, and we're gonna log it, and I'm going to use that as extra juice to shut you up. So I think at first I knew when he said it, that was like I was like, oh, that's bulletin board for fans at least. But I think the repercussions will actually juice him up. And I think that could mean that we could see like Debo against the Dolphins was probably the most hyped I've seen him this year, from an energy standpoint. Like he was on a different level against the Dolphins. Um, I think we could see a different level Debo against the Eagles. CMC over 130 all-purpose yards. Danny Gray, Jawan Jennings, Debo, Greg. We could love a signature Greg performance. Their secondary can't tackle Debo or Ayuk. Kittle will exploit the linebackers. I hope Brock, because that would mean defensive defensive Philly failed. Debo, CMC, Ayuk. CMC will be the X factor and the offensive line. Yeah, we need the O line, baby. Debo going to get that reception touchdown in the last 30 seconds to win the game. Tyler says, Brock, I want him to continue to shock the world and shut up the haters. Bro, the haters popped out this week. Oh boy, the Brock haters popped out heavy this week. Ray for 2 long touchdown passes. Now there is we got some Ray love back to back. Hendrick says first rookie quarterback to lead this team to the Super Bowl. CMC 105. He went 105 yards and a touchdown. Bubbly says JJ. Got to be a big Debo game. Gunslinger Brock Purdy. Third and Jawan. Kittle and Debo X factors. Ayuk 70 yards touchdown. Kittle will be the difference maker. Let's see. Juwan, O-line, interior O-line, specifically Ayuk. Oh, we got a lot of McLeod love. Watch it be a Juwan game. Remember the last time the 49ers played the Eagles? It was a Juwan game. It was a Juwan game last time we beat the Eagles in 2021. Oh, we got some Jordan Mason. Robbie. Hey, shout out Robbie. We needed Robbie against Dallas, man. I'm not gonna slander Robbie at all. Robbie is free of slander from me. I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't stand when the kicker held out and we gave a kicker guaranteed money. That was just a wild situation for me. But I'll never slander Robbie. We need that man. Oh God, we need Robbie so bad. Because worst case scenario, 49ers move. We need the 49ers to move the ball into scoring position, and you got to get points. Got to have it. We did defense already. We are forgetting the mold that puts it all together. Juice. Yeah, we could use a big juice game. Debo, CMC, and Mitchell will need to have big games. Hopefully we get Mitchell, man. I don't know. Jordan Mason, big time BA, 44. Some Danny Gray. I'm liking the obscure players. Let's see. I should be almost catching up here. Ray and Gray stretch the field. Kittle touchdowns. Juice gets 2 touchdowns. Oh, there you go. Amanda says, have to go with Brandon and Kittle. Think they're going to double team CMC and Debo like crazy, which they very could. It would be smart of them and bracket the hell out of CMC and Debo. Hendrick says Brad's about to cheat again and say Kyle instead of a player. You already know the vibes. This is a Kyle Shanahan signature game. You already know. This is when the matchups on the field are so close, it really just pulls me towards the coaches. I'm like, all right, well, you can make a case, but it's a debate one way or the other, like who's going to step up or who has the better team. But man, I'm looking at the coaching staff. Let's go, Kyle. This is a signature Kyle game. If Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy go on the road to the most, you know, I'm gonna say the most hostile environment. It might not be the loudest. I think you can make the case maybe Seattle or the Chiefs home field advantage is probably the loudest, but I'm gonna say this is the most hostile. Like when you're talking about enemy territory, I think the 49ers playing in Philadelphia, it's gonna be war. And these Eagles fans are charged up, and rightfully so. Eagles fans are ready. They're ready to get after it. So this is going to be an intense matchup on the road in Philly. Philly fans, man, are going to go wild. So this is going to be hostile of all hostile environments. It's going to be the war. 49ers breakfast club stream this weekend. We'll see. We'll see what the stream schedule's like in Philadelphia, but maybe. I don't, I think the game's later, so I might have some time to kill on Sunday. So maybe we do a Sunday morning stream. We'll see. Hey, what's good, Sean? Shout out, Sean. Smash that like button if you haven't already. I'm starting to catch up here. All right, I've caught up. So if I have to pick if I had to pick a offensive player of the game for the 49ers, jeez. There's so many places to go with this. And I'm going to somehow cop out and land on Kyle Shanahan. But if there's a guy who needs to do it, I'm going to have to say Brock Purdy. I don't want to put that pressure on Big Brock, but I need Brock, and I don't necessarily need Brock to play out of his mind. I need Brock to play smart. I need Brock to play efficiently. I want him to be a distributor. I want him to make good decisions, continue to manipulate these coverages with his eyes. I need a signature Brock game. I need one for the culture. I need one for the storybook. I need one for the movie. And again, I don't need Brock to come out, throw 3-4 touchdowns. I need Brock to put this team in scoring position. I need him to do the small things very well. Meaning, like, if it's play action, if it's, again, being able to read coverages and all that type of stuff, I need Brock to execute at a very effective and efficient level and protect the football first and foremost. We need Brock Purdy to protect the football. And this game could very well come down to who turns the ball over more or who wins the turnover battle. I think the margin of error is going to be so slim on both sides that it could be one turnover, and that's the difference in the game. So I need Brock. I need Brock to be rock solid. I need Brock to be efficient, effective, and protect the football. And if he can do that, I think Kyle Shanahan is going to cook. So when it all comes down to it, it's going to be Kyle, D'Amico, and the leaders. This Well, this is what it just keeps coming back to, man. All hands on deck. Everyone, water boys, training staff, equipment staff, the video guys, the coaching assistants, the statisticians, everyone, all hands on deck. It is going to take an army to be able to go into enemy territory and take down the giant that is known as the Philadelphia Eagles. So, listen, media's counted out the 49ers. Uh, I would probably say like 80% of the media is picking the Eagles to win. I think people like the story of the San Francisco 49ers, but they just don't feel confident yet in Brock Purdy. They don't feel confident um, with the performance against the Cowboys, because if you look at the Eagles, I think this it's crazy because the Eagles just blew out the New York Giants so badly that I wonder, because I talk about it on the flip side with the San Francisco 49ers. Like, I do think that the close game in the first half with Seattle, um, I think the nature of the Cowboys game is going to benefit this team in these high pressure situations. The Eagles, I don't feel like the Eagles have been so good that they actually haven't found themselves in these types of dog fights like the San Francisco 49ers have. And the 49ers have had to claw their way out of a lot of victories. And they've had some blowouts too. They beat the brakes off Tom Brady. But this matchup against Dallas was a dogfight. Seattle, that was a dogfight that they happened to just pour it on them in the second half. But I think that speaks to the mentality. I think it speaks to the grit. I think that's what this game's gonna be, man. This game is a classic. It's already an instant classic. They haven't taken a snap yet, and this game's already an instant classic. So I am very much looking forward to this matchup. It's going to be absolutely insane. I think there's so many different angles you can look at for why this is going to be a tough matchup, why it's just going to be crazy. But the 49ers are built the right way. The 49ers have the mentality to withstand the punches that are going to be thrown at them from this. The Eagles are going to punch. They're going to throw haymakers, man. The Eagles they're going to get touchdowns. They're going to make plays on defense. They're going to get sacks. They're going to make good plays on all three phases: offense, defense, and special teams. But I have a sense of confidence knowing that I have seen the San Francisco 49ers take those hits and bounce back. And that's something that we haven't been able to say about a Kyle Shanahan led team in a while. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I mean, I'm very much looking forward to that. I think this team is the type of team that will get better in the second half. And that's where this game's going to be won. All right. With all that said, it's time. Let's do our score predictions. I do think that this is going to be the most interesting one that we've had so far. I also think it's going to be the closest one. So it's the time of the show where we drop score predictions in the chat. Drop what you think the score is going to be. Is it going to be close? Is it going to be, are they going to shock the world and just run up the score on the Eagles? Are the Eagles going to win? Listen, it, if you're a 49er fan and you're just not feeling good, no shame in your game. If you think that if the Eagles are the superior team and you think that they are going to get the dub, no shame. Drop it in the chat. We'll use it as reverse juju as well. So make sure you drop your score predictions in the chat. 49ers versus Eagles. What is the game going to look like? So right off the bat, John is dropping 20-17. So I had the game last week against the Dallas Cowboys as a 3-point victory, but I had it as a high scoring affair. I had it, I think, 34-31, and they did not score touchdowns in that game. It became a field goal sesh. I do think you could get a similar type outcome where you're just scratching and clawing to get something going. Or is this a 48 Eagles? First to 24 wins. I actually like that. Here we go. Just win. Keep the streak alive. We've got 23-20 Niners. We've got 33-27. 37-20. I'd consider that a blowout in this game. Willie says Super Bowl or bust. 20-17. 49ers football, helmet Eagles. I like that score. 21-17 Niners. 30-17 49ers. 37-34 overtime. Whoo! 24-20. 23-20. 24-17. Oh, Eagles fans they love our channel here. We've had Eagles fans all week in the chat. We're going to convert some of them. Where's Sean? We didn't see Sean at all today. 27-24 Niners, 27-17 Niners, 28-20. So we're way closer than this is pretty much what I anticipated. I thought this was going to be one of the closest score prediction shows that we have had all year. Wild West obliterates that narrative and says 42-17 Niners, 38-13 Niners. Eagles fans will be smashing TVs and burning Hurts jerseys. I don't know about that. I think they like Hurts a lot more than Cowboys fans like Dak. 24-21. This is just crazy. 40-3. You're crazy, man. 24-20. We also have Joshua's. He's keeping the blowout. I think Joshua is just like, I'm calling for blowouts every week, and I do not care. 32-27, 24-13. Roberto says under 25 points for both teams. 30-23 Niners, 2 defensive touchdowns. 34-20, 31-24, 27-24, 19-12. Feels like last week's score. 73-14. You're high as a kite, man. Let's see. 24-21 Niners, 28-14, 20-17. 48 to Horsey. Jokes aside, old school type game, 23-20 Niners. 30-24, 28-17, 24-20. So, I mean, for the most part, we are pretty damn close. I mean, we got a lot of blowouts last week, more so than I was anticipating, but we've also gotten our fair share of close games here. 6-3 Niners. Could you imagine? Uh 23 Niners, 21 Eagles. Close match. Eagles can win 23-20, but San Francisco wins. Okay. 23-20 Niners. Gould with a game-winning 38-yard field goal as time expires. Ooh, I like that one. I like the bold proclamation at the end. 49ers 27, Eagles 21, 23-17, 28-16. Gonna have a close one, but I think we have a big second half. I mean, it's cliche to say, and it's completely obvious, but of course, I do think this game's gonna be won in the second half. I mean, oh, shocker! What a statement! But I do think that how this team shows up in the second half is what's going to define if they win or lose. Which again, that's not some kind of, oh, how'd you come up with that? It's just really what I think it comes down to. 27-17, 31-7, 27, 28-21, 30-27, 21-10, 24-21. Oh, we got Eagles. Thank you. We needed the balance. We needed the balance. 30-21 Eagles win. Go Birds. Thank you. We needed some balance in here. Val says 21 or 31-28, 34-28, 28-17, 19-13. So yeah, this has definitely been our closest score prediction of the week or of the year, I think. Maybe outside of the Chiefs week, I think this is going to take the cake for most overall closest scores for sure, for sure. 23-18. We got some crazy blowouts in here, not gonna lie, but that's to be expected. Yeah, you've called a blowout every week. Do not change. Do not do not change. We're again, we're not superstitious. We're a little stitious. So if it's been working, let it ride. Like again, I gotta roll to the game in no Niners colors because it's been working. It's been working so far, so we're gonna keep it rolling. Um, all right, we're getting there. I'm almost caught up. Almost caught up. Val says, if any team can beat the Eagles, it's the Niners. And that's a great point, Val. And I think that's what's being missed in a lot of the conversations this week. It's like, yes, the Eagles are a really good team, and we're going to give them that credit. And they have a lot of weapons. They've got a lot of talent. They have good coaching. Um, they're a good team. But if there's any team that can take down the Eagles, it's the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, we have a brand of football that travels. Like the we don't have to air it out. Like if we can get this thing going on the ground, like that fits into what we want to do, and that fits to, playing on the road and being in a hostile environment and those types of things, converting on third down, keep the crowd out of it. Again, also, I think another thing that fits into what the 49ers want to do is if they can control the ball. Like it's as simple as playing keep away. Like keep the ball away from Jalen Hurts. if you can go on these long drives consistently that end at with minimum 3 points. Like, I don't need touchdowns every time. Would love to have touchdowns. Touchdowns would make me feel a whole lot more comfortable. But if you could just chunk drive after chunk drive, 5 minutes here, 6 minutes there, and just take down the clock and just limit the opportunities that Jalen Hurts has, I think that's going to be a big factor. Is if we start getting into that situation where it's like 3 and out, defense is up, long drive by the defense, offense 3 and out, and then defense is back on the field, that's where we're going to find ourselves in some trouble. Um, we need the offense to win the time of possession battle as best as possible. So it's gonna be interesting. Philly will come out with 8 in the box. That's fine with me. Um, if if the Eagles come out looking to stop the run, I feel very confident in Purdy's ability to execute play action. Um, I think that's where if you get the linebackers sucked up and biting on run, Purdy will be able to go right off the backside of them. So I'm not too worried about that. So if I have to go score prediction here, I don't think it's going to be as high of a scoring game as I thought it was going to be with Dallas. I think it's going to be more I think they're still going to score. We might even get a defensive score here or there from both sides, but it's going to be really interesting. Um, I'm really going to have this thing down to the wire. I think it's going to be as close as it can be. So my score prediction, and it could be a last kick, it could be a last touch, like it could come down to the last drive. This game's probably going to be won in the last 2 minutes of the game. I have the San Francisco 49ers winning this game 28-27. That's the type of game that I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be the word of the week, dogfight. The dogs are going at it. Quarterback passer rating under pressure, Hurts 65.2, Purdy 88.1. Yeah, I mean, Purdy has shown that he is rock solid under pressure. 100%. So I got to go with the close one. I think and again, I think the biggest factors are going to be who can control the clock and who could just, again, it's cliche, mitigate the mistakes. Least amount of mistakes, least amount of turnovers. Big key factors here are going to be who wins the turnover battle and who wins the time of possession game. Boxing fan says we wear teams down bad, but Eagles having depth will be a problem. Yeah, I mean hey, we're ready for a fight, man. We're ready. Oh yeah, it's gonna be one of those games, man. Don't go into this game like prepared for like feeling like we're gonna win this thing from the jump. Like be prepared for your blood pressure to rise, for unfathomable things. I'm ready, man. Thankfully, I've survived enough heartache as a 49er fan that although we want the most favorable outcome, I'm prepared for whatever, man. I'm prepared for it all. So I'm really not too worried about it. Like obviously we want to win. That's the outcome that we want. But I'm not, you know, if they lose, I just hope that we're talking about a good game. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we don't want that type of like loser mentality, none of that stuff. But I don't want this team to lose in a fashion like a Kyle Williams or, just implode. I need a fight. I need best efforts given. I need like left it all out on the field type of vibes. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking for. Um all right, we got a super chat. Appreciate the super chat. We have Niners O line only allowed 31 sacks this year. Eagles allowed 44. Low key important since media is hyping up the Eagles pass rush. Niners D line has the advantage. Yeah, I mean, I try not to look too far into the past. I really think this game is its own animal. Um, and I'm really trying to focus as best I can on how I perceive these matchups to go and line up. And I do think it's going to be even. I mean, part of the reason why the Niners O line only allowed 31 sacks is because they're a run heavy team. So that's also a part of the context. Is I would say the Niners are more run heavy. Again, I don't have the metrics or anything to back that up. I can just go off of like my feel for it. And I would say my feel is that the 49ers are definitely more run heavy. They're not a true drop back passing team, so they're not going to find themselves in those types of situations unless it's third and long or second and long or whatever. So um, I just think it's going to be a good matchup. I think it's going to be a good matchup regardless. So, but I do think that there is an ability for the 49ers to absolutely take advantage um, of what's going down. Um, are people what Delaney Walker's in the chat? Where's Delaney at? Tell him to hop on the stream. Why is everyone saying Delaney Walker was good? Oh man. Uh Also Drake Jackson runs faster 40 than Jalen Hurts. You think Drake has a good game? Again, I don't know. I don't know if it's guaranteed that Drake Jackson is up for this game. He's been inactive quite a bit. It does sound like Charles Omenihu is going to play. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know if Drake's going to play. I think it's maybe. I would say this matchup benefits Drake more so. Oh, I got you. Oh yeah, 100%. Um, but I would say that I do think Drake Jackson actually has a better shot at playing in this game. Um, for those kinds of reasons. The athletic ability that he brings to the table. I don't think, the Eagles are going to just try to ground and pound it. I think they're really going to try to utilize Jalen Hurts as best they can. Sons of Johnny Lamaster flying out to Philly tomorrow. I can guarantee a win. Go Niners. I will be flying out technically tomorrow. I think my flight leaves at like 12 a.m. So I'm gonna probably be a wreck on Saturday. Uh, but I am looking forward to it. So I think 49er fans are going to be well represented in Philly. Anyone else going to the game other than Sons of Johnny Lamaster, me? I saw some other people talking about how they're going to be at the game. We got any other people in the chat going to be in Philadelphia this weekend for the game? We got to represent as best we can. Um, Need this dub, man. I'll be on the hunt for gas station sushi. I hope not. I really hope not. I'm definitely not going to be in Minnesota though, so that's a big plus. I was in the middle of nowhere in Minnesota, so that was a problem. Oh, we ended up getting canes though, but I my canes order wasn't professional enough. That was my first time I think going to canes, but I think I got to do the we got to get the Philly. I think I got to get a couple Phillies and we might have to do a special, SF Diners, might have to be our first road SF Diners segment. We might have to see what the fuss with all the Phillies the Philly cheesesteak is all about. So I definitely gotta do the taste test too. I can't just do the one. I gotta try a couple and we gotta figure it out. So we're definitely gonna be figuring that out. Uh we need Brad to do a victory post game stream from the middle of nowhere again. Remember when I was sitting in a swamp doing doing the post practice report in Minnesota. It started to rain on me. That was a good time. But yeah, we're looking for some good stuff here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be try. I'll put together some vlogs. I'm gonna try to like really capture uh the whole thing. Hopefully I can bring my camera in and that won't be a problem. Um we gotta see. We definitely gotta see. But I'm gonna try to vlog it up as best I can. Um Hey, appreciate everyone who taps in for the live streams. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Like I said, if you guys didn't know, I will be heading to Philadelphia tonight. So it's going to be a wild ride, that's for sure. Um, I'm excited. I'm nervous. All of it. It's going to be. It's going. Is Aponte on? Oh, if Aponte's on, everyone go hop into Aponte's stream right now and just spam SDS. Smash that like button on your way out. I appreciate you guys as always. I'm out of here for now. Go rate it up, Aponte. Make sure when you get into Aponte's stream, like that, smash that like button on his stream and go raid. Go raid Aponte's stream. Everyone go right now. Do I need to drop a link? Hell, I'll drop a link even for those who might not even be an Aponte subscriber. Let me drop a link. Hold on. I want you guys to raid the hell raid the hell out of his stream. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Everyone go. There's the link. Everyone go. Look, they're tripping. They're tripping. They're tripping out right now. Oh my god. This is hilarious. Rate him. Rate him. Rate him. We're talking about it right now. Rate him. Rate him.
So excited for this game, Jason. I'll leave
So,
with that.
so what
before I
happened
lose
was,
my
all right,
train
so
of
this
thought.
is what happened. Brad finished his stream
Okay.
and realized that we were going live and implored everyone who was watching his stream to
Well, we
come
love
on
Brad.
over to our stream. Let me tell you something.
We
If you
love
thought I
Brad.
loved Brad Graham before that, that love affair just continues now at this point.
Well, if
It just
Brad-
intensifies.
Just throwing this out there, live podcast, Jason Aponte. If Brad just ended, do you think he's like near his computer? Maybe we drop a link and see if maybe we.
Well, all right. I mean, we're in a group chat with Brad. Brad's a very hard man to get, nailed down. Hey, look, you know what? It's NFC title game. It's time to talk about this team. If Brad Graham is so inclined, guys, if Brad Graham is so inclined to join, and I'm gonna let Andrew Pasquini cook, and I'm gonna get on the phone and see if I can make this happen. Would you guys?
I'm out of here. I might hop on and say what's up. I might
join the Sprint Right Option podcast.
I'm out of here for now.
Let's see. I think the people would enjoy it, especially considering everybody here is just watching. Let's see if we can pull some strings.
Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see you.